I'm not going to let another podcast go by without talking about Loui Eriksson, because all season we went through this. Everybody that was around this team went down this path of not talking about the $6 million man. But I saw on Monday, locker cleanout day, I was busy hearing about the track club. I was busy talking to other guys. And I look over, and you've got Loui to yourself. You've kind of cornered him, and he looked uncomfortable, but he looked fashionable in the capris and sockless. Yeah, new haircut, big belt buckle. What's going on with Loui? I think you've written about him.
Absolutely. I wrote about him. Yeah, what do you think? I'm just hanging out, like, catching up on what he's going to be doing this summer? Yeah, no, I was asking him, like, what the hell happened? What do you expect? And, like, essentially, how bad do you feel? And I think that, like, legitimately he feels bad. Like, I think he's very frustrated with the way things have gone. I think that he sees himself as still a guy who can be a top goal scorer. And I think that gets lost in all the talk about, well, at least he's a good third liner. Well, hold on. Like, he averaged almost 28 goals a season for like 6 straight years in Dallas. He scored 30 in that last year in Boston, 10 on the power play, which was like, top 20 in the NHL. Like, this guy is a legit top scorer and has been his entire career. You can't just dismiss it and say, well, he's a good third liner. We're going to throw up our arms and not worry about him. And Travis is as guilty as anyone, because when we were quizzing him during the season, he said, I'm not worried about Loui Eriksson, and I don't believe him for a second. I think that Travis spent a lot of time this year worrying about a guy making $6 million and scoring 10 goals, okay? And albeit he missed 32 games because of injury, but even if you take his, like, points per 60, his even strength production, it was pitiful. Like, it was bad. Like, it was he had a Jannik Hansen season. And I think that you understand how bad that comparison is, because Jannik Hansen had one of the worst seasons, healthy scratch all the time, couldn't find a line mate. And that's one of the counters that Loui did have. He said, like, I do hope that people understand that a good portion of this year, actually a quarter of it, I was playing in a matchup role with Brandon Sutter, who has been a black hole for offense, was a black hole for offense this entire year until, like, late in the season where the games didn't matter anymore. And he scored 8, actually led the team in those final, the great 9 that ended the year. He led the team with 8 points. But up until then, he couldn't produce anything. And Eriksson said, like, I hope people that are kind of judging me on my stats understand that a big part of it was in a defensive shutdown role, and it's very difficult to produce like that. And he also said a lot of the same things that we've heard from Verbata before. I can't find a consistent line mate. I need to know who I'm playing with. I got to find, if I'm going to produce like I used to, I need some consistency. I'm not sure Travis Green is the guy for consistency, but I do know that at that arena, in that building, in those head offices, there are people who think he is among the guys set up to benefit the most without the Sedin twins. That with Henrik and Daniel gone, there's going to be a primo spot on power play 1 that hopefully Eriksson can take. He didn't, like, for all the talk about him fitting well with the Sedins, they never really produced a lot of goals when they were playing together. He didn't score a lot of goals when they were playing together. 2 years, just 21 goals. Maybe there's a better fit for him in a consistent top 6 role, and maybe it's a situation where he'll have a spot and Travis will stop putting him back into a defensive shutdown spot. I think Green's got to give up on that. I think that he has to try to rehab Eriksson. Like, he's signed for too long. He makes too much money. If you're not going to trade him, and I think there's a way that I don't think it's as hard as people think. For one, he's already made $16 million. He's owed $6 million more on July 1. So that's 22. He's left $14 million over the next 4 years. That's not bad. That's could be affordable for a kind of buy low situation for another team maybe. But Green has to try to rehab him. They have to try to find the guy that can score 25, 20, 24 goals. If they're going to make up for what the Sedins have left behind, he's one of the top guys that has at least the potential to do that, because he's done it elsewhere. I said to him, I did say this, has it gone away? Is that guy still inside you? The guy who scored 30, the guy who scored 27 in Dallas, 28 in Dallas. And he said, it is still inside me. Sometimes I doubt it. Sometimes I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm lacking confidence. But it is in there. I'm still in good shape, and I believe in it. And for a moment in time, when you saw me off in that corner, I was looking at him. We had eye contact, and I was like, this is the first time I've believed in you, Loui. Don't let me down.